When we think about old-fashioned notebooks in the real world, paper notebooks, specifically larger notebooks where we want to stay organized, quite often you'll find information separated into sections. And in those sections, there might even be subsections. And then within those sections, pages, and maybe even subpages. Well, not in a paper notebook, but we can do that here in OneNote. Let's explore sections now using a notebook we've been working with here in Chapter 1 called Notebook Sample. You can open it up if you don't already have it open. And as you can see by the tabs across the top here, we already have a number of sections, and we can change from one section to another by clicking the tab. To add a new section, we click the plus sign that appears after the last tab. New Section 1 is the default name here, just like we saw when creating a brand new notebook. If we were to click on our page accidentally, that becomes the default name. But of course, we can change the name of a section by double-clicking. Let's call this Personal Tasks and enter. All right, maybe we want to move that somewhere. We don't like it at the end. Maybe it should be at the beginning. Of course, we can move sections around by clicking and dragging the tabs. As we move left, you can see that little arrow appearing in between sections, so we can release at any time to go right to the beginning before meetings. That's where we want the arrow when we release our mouse button. Let's add a new tab, but a different way this time. Let's right-click anywhere over these tabs or off to the right in this area, and you'll see New Section there. And also something called New Section Group. Interesting. Let's go to New Section first. There's that default naming again. Let's type in Business Tasks and enter. And maybe move it next to Personal Tasks. Click and drag. But I like that idea of a section group made up of subsections. Maybe we should have one group called Tasks with subsections for personal and business tasks. Okay, well, right-click, choose New Section Group, and type right over the text. We'll just call it Tasks, and enter. Now it's a matter of getting those business and personal sections into our section group called Tasks. Of course, we're going to click and drag. We'll click and drag Business right over Tasks and let go. Notice now we're looking at Tasks under Notebook Sample, and there's our new section. Let's navigate back up now to the parent section group by clicking the arrow, and do the same with Personal. Click, drag over Tasks, and if you hold it long enough, you will be moved into that section group where Personal Tasks now appears when we release the mouse. So it's a great way to stay organized. Let's go back up and realize maybe we don't need that section group at all. In fact, we don't need any of its contents. We can delete a section or section group by simply right-clicking it. Let's do it with our section group called Tasks. When we choose Delete, we do see a warning that we're about to move the sections in that group, not the entire group, but the sections in that group, to the recycle bin. So we choose Yes. And of course, because it's in a recycle bin, it means if we wanted to, we could get those sections back. How do we do that? Well, we can go to the History tab here on the ribbon and access our Notebook Recycle Bin. The drop-down arrow gives us some options for opening it up, emptying it, or disabling history. But we want to just click right at the top where we see anything that's been deleted in the way of pages, nothing so far, as well as a couple of sections here, business and personal tasks. So to get those back, we just need to drag them into the right notebook. Well, let's click our drop-down here next to Notebook Sample, OneNote Recycle Bin, and click the push pin. I like using the notebook pane for this. Now, if you're not seeing the sections here under Notebook Sample, you need to expand. This little arrow does both expand and collapse. And now we can drag right to the exact location where we want them. Maybe business tasks should be first. Drag it right in front of meetings and let go. And personal tasks should appear after. Click and drag until we see that line between business and meetings and let go. There we go. Let's navigate back up. And we're back into our notebook here called Notebook Sample. We can disable the notebook pane by clicking the push pin. And there we go. We've got all of our sections. We don't have a section group any longer, but we were able to get our sections back. All right, let's remove both of these sections by right-clicking and choosing Delete. So we're going to see a warning message for each one. Clicking Yes for business, right-click Personal, and Delete. Choose Yes for that one as well, and we're right back where we started. So that's working with sections. Of course, within those sections are going to be pages and subpages. Really, all of this designed to help us stay organized. So in the next lesson, we'll get into pages.